Neil Armstrong may have seen extraterrestrials on the moon.
When he spies a discernible shape.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You can deny all the things I've seen, all the things I've discovered, but not for much longer. Because too many others know what's happening out there. And no one, no government agency has jurisdiction over the truth.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Full Spectrum Universe. We are back Saturday night, 8 to 10 p.m. How is everybody doing? We have an amazing paranormal team joining us this evening. My guests, what we're going to do is we're going to share the screen real quick so we can introduce them. Then we're going to bring them in. So let's all have a look. Here we go. We ready? There it is. Let's make it big so everybody can see. Outlaw Paranormal. Let us face your fears.
1, 2, 3, come on!
All right, we've got Gina, Jimmy, and Jeff. Outlaw Paranormal. How are you guys?
Good. How about you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here on Full Spectrum Universe. We love you guys to death. We love highlighting all the paranormal teams that are out there. So what we're going to ask is that you just pretty much introduce yourself. Tell us how you guys got involved in the paranormal right off the bat. A sense of what made you come together as a group, let's say.
Go ahead, Gina. We'll let Gina start out.
Actually, we met on another team that we were part of for a couple of years. And then I think Jeff went off on his own first, and then Jimmy and I split off a few months ago. So we're new as a team, but not necessarily new to the paranormal.
Awesome.
Yeah. We just decided to go our separate ways and do stuff a little bit different. And since we started doing stuff different, it's
working.
It's working real good for us.
Yeah, we just kind of got a connection. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, we're like all brothers and sisters. I mean, and that's the way we get along. I mean, we have laughs and fun, but we get aggravated. But we're all family.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't everybody get aggravated here and there? It tends to be a tumultuous situation, shall we say, sometimes when you're exploring the other side. It can get hot, heavy, and with the energies in the room, things can kind of get crazy. But, the fact that you guys come together and that you're a coagulated group now, I mean, that's a pretty awesome thing. It's definitely something behind it. I believe that there's no such thing as coincidence. So let's have each one of you tell us that moment that you realized that the paranormal was for you. That one moment that took you out and said, okay, this is the reason why I explore it. And I'm going to get into this as, whether it's your full-time career or what you do as a pastime.
Well, myself, I was born with a special gift. My mom got a special gift. My youngest daughter got a special gift. And we can actually see things, see spirits, hear spirits, and talk to them without using any devices. And that's something a lot of people don't have the gift to do.
No, absolutely not. I mean, my team, we have a psychic medium, and it's kind of funny you say that, but the last investigation we did was over it was basically in this same format where we were in somebody's house, and it was the first time that I was literally I didn't speak to them, but I could see every spirit moving in the house. I never knew I could do that. I think it might have been a little bit of the nerves that kicked in. Most incredible investigation that I've been on. I've been on quite a few, and now all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, why is it through the computer I can actually see it now? So it was kind of wild, but I mean, that's pretty crazy. How about you, Gina?
I've always been interested in things like this ever since I was little, the Ouija board and all the craziness. I guess I was about 20 and at a friend's house, had been asleep and woke up to a shadow figure standing in the corner looking at me. And I was trying to talk to the person that was on the other side of the room asleep, and I kept blinking. Okay, I'm asleep. I've got to wake up here. And I kept watching it, and it was watching me. And so I finally turned and yelled for my friend across the room. When I looked back, he was gone. And I didn't know until just a couple of years ago that this was a thing. It was the Hat Man shadow figure that a lot of people have seen this. I was like, I know that guy. So yeah, that was probably the one point that sticks out for me that I really became interested. And then I guess I never knew it was a thing until all the ghost shows came out and found out, hey, people are actually, this is a thing. They're actually doing this. So.
Well, absolutely. They're out there, and that's one of the things that once we get a little like glimpse of how they're doing it out there, you're like, okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to take it to the next level and I'm going to go. So go ahead. I like to interject. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do that.
No, you're fine.
Now mine, I was in kindergarten, or the Hat Man. I just dawned on me what I seen. It was Christmas Eve. Seen him at the end of a hallway. I freak out being that little. Mom, Dad come in, tell them I seen somebody. They look now. No, it wasn't nobody. You're just dreaming. So it gets swept under the rug. Get older, and we move into another house. A guy had committed suicide in it, and me and my nephew both in the bedroom. He didn't. I mean, just nightmares. I ain't even gonna speak of it. I remember it just like it happened yesterday. It's so burnt into my mind. Just always felt watched, threatened. Hearing stuff. Just that my dad's like, yeah, there's stuff out there, but don't talk about it. Just kind of keep it quiet to yourself. And then just different stuff went on. Then ghost hunters come out on TV, and I'm like, sweet, people do this. I want to do this now. I want to go look, figure out what's going on and help people. And then ended up getting with the team, and it just grew from there. And and I'm working on some stuff now that I've got to open up to, that I didn't know I had the ability for. So now I do. So I have to, unblock it and open it. So
I understand that too. I think we're kind of on the same wavelength with what happened to me on the last investigation. It was just something that blew my mind. But one of the great things about teams from all over the place is they have a different way to do it. It's a big culture that we have that's paranormal, but each different area of the country does things a little bit different. Some people use a lot of tech. Some people use a lot of like the psychic abilities. What do you think? Where do you think you guys fall into? From what I understand in your bios, you guys use a lot of old methods or old-fashioned ways to, basically communicate and find your instances where you have contact. So do you want to explain to us what those old methods are?
Well, we rely a lot on what Jimmy sees, and dowsing rods is one of the favorite tools that he has. That
yes,
and
I
nothing,
love using a dowsing rod.
And then nothing is better than a digital recorder and a camera to catch.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. Some of the best evidence that you will find is that EVP that you kind of don't know is happening until you can review it. But, there's contact there that most people don't realize right off the bat either. But what are some of the best things that you've heard coming over EVP?
We was down at Brushy Mountain State Prison down here in Petros, Tennessee. Me and a former teammate, we was walking right down in front of death row. We was like, man, could you imagine like being here and dying? And just that was one of my first big investigations. I've done a lot of residential. Sometimes you get stuff, sometimes you don't. But being down there, I'm like, I know who was around. I knew where everybody was. We get back home. I listen to my recorder, And about the time we say, "Could you imagine dying here?" we get somebody saying, "I ain't dead yet, y'all." And it was just as clear as me and him talking. And I was like, "Wow!" And that sticks out. I mean, I was like, I believe now.
That's awesome. I think that's awesome. Like, that's a great one. That sounds like a great story.
Yeah. And then we just started the team up together, and we was doing an investigation of a whale where some kids was supposed to be killed. The bodies was never supposed to been found or anything at the whale. So one night we was there and we asked if they'll need help, and it says not tonight. And then we was letting the kids was communicating with us, and it felt like one was on my back, and I asked her, I said, "Are you still on my back?" And she said, "Yes."
This is actually spirit box communication.
That's wild. That's wild.
That was crazy.
And we do have them videos posted.
We do have them videos posted.
I saw you had some videos posted on. So guys, go check out their YouTube channel. It's Outlaw Paranormal.
TikTok.
Oh, you guys are on TikTok too. How do you like the TikTok side of it? Explain to us kind of interactions that you get on the TikTok side.
That's actually kind of where we started putting things, was on TikTok, and it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of paranormal TikTokers out there, so that's worked really well for us, I think, and it's been a lot of fun because you're only posting about 30 seconds of the video, so you got to get the good part, and which. Well, you're an investigator. You sit in the dark for 8 hours, and you come out with one little thing. You're so excited over something. So I got that 30 seconds there. I can.
Well, that's right. Like that 30 seconds is basically the compartmentalization of the entire evening into that 30-second spot where you're like, oh, all right, okay, you get into it.
It can make the whole night. That 30 seconds can make an 8-hour night be like, yes,
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Sometimes, like you said, you're just sitting in the dark. You're like, okay, let's waiting for something to happen. But that's one of the things I like about TikTok too, is you when you're scrolling through videos, it's like the stuff that you look at, it kind of finds these other people, and it's like a really big community of where people come together. I mean, it's, I wish some of the paranormal was more like that, of course, with some of the egos and things like that the experience is a little crazy, but so. Tell us a story of if you meet somebody brand new, right? What's the investigation that you tell them about when you're telling a story or trying to explain to them what the paranormal is to you in that sense? Everybody has that story, that go-to story that they're just like, "Yep, this is, that's it."
My main one is the little kid that we got at the whale. I mean, I pull it up on TikTok, show people, and let people hear the little girl talk to me and say, yes, she's still on my back. So that's one of the main ones for me. And
we actually played tag that night, and everybody felt something. It went right around. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's phenomenal. Did you guys have any other experiences in that house or in that place that tell us all about it? Tell us about that specific investigation.
We cannot find evidence as far as all this. I try to research everything. That the people we know existed. This was a family-owned farm, been in the family for generations, and there was a great uncle that was supposedly had an affair with a woman. Ended up killing her and her 2 children. Bodies were never found. And then later, I think her fiance disappeared too. The family always believed that he did it. He was never brought to trial or anything. So nothing ever happened, but the family believed he did it and thought that the bodies may be there on the property. So we spent, about 3 weekends up there at this well, and a lot of dowsing rods, and dowsing rods would lead them to the same spot in the woods every time, checking to see where the kids might have been buried. There was a lot of communication with the kids there, a lot of strange stuff in the woods behind us. It was probably one of the creepiest ones I think I've ever been on. It was crazy. But unfortunately, the lady that owned the property actually ended up passing away. So we've not been able to go back yet. So,
Yeah, she passed away about a month ago.
yeah.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, here's one of the things that people have different ways of approaching their investigation. Do you guys like to look at all the history first, or you go in blind and then check the history later?
Now, I like to go in blind most times. Gina does a lot of the research and on the property and what happened here, and see
if I can find out, if what they're saying, if these people actually existed and what happened, and then try not to tell him as much to see if he senses anything that I've already found out. So
and Jeff
test him.
I help out and doing some research, and when I can. I don't have the resources like Gina does, but sometimes I do want to know, sometimes I don't want to know. So
Well, I get that too. It depends on what feeling you get from the house, or where you're going, which is truly what it is, and I'm the same way. I do research down to criminal records of the area. I mean, I am super thorough. I'm the historian too, but when my partner Melinda, she is the psychic medium, so I don't tell her anything. And as she's getting the contact, I approach her with the questions that she needs to ask to try and get that, to not stir things up, because I think that, respect for the place that you're going to is such a big thing. You don't go in like a bull in a china shop. You go in gentle, nice. One of the things that I've come to realize is that these entities still have the same idiosyncrasies that they did while they were alive, as in, their attitudes or the way that they carry themselves. And you kind of have to get used to it and tiptoe around it a little bit until you get a feel for it. And then you can open the lines of communication a little bit, So, I mean, in Tennessee, do you guys have a lot of Native American land out there as well?
Yes.
A lot.
Do you feel that Native American land boasts for even more activity in your area?
Yes, we got a investigation we're supposed to go check on this coming up weekend, and the property over there had an Indian burial grave on it, and
Mound.
people come in there and started digging up the Indian burial ground, and it started stirring up the activity a lot more.
Wow. Yeah, no, that could be very difficult. I know that, firsthand with I keep going back to my team just to iterate the such similarities between our teams is that, my partner, Melinda, she is Native American, and we're getting approval by the chiefs and the communities to actually go on that land and being able to explore what's happening out there. There's even one place where there's a interstate that has a phantom car on it. And I'm like super excited to go there. It was like, oh, let's get this underway. Hurry up. Like, let's go. No, but so, for everybody has their own equipment that they use. What's your favorite piece to use? Like almost like your go-to piece. I know you said you had the dowsing rods. I love dowsing rods too. It's just, but what's your favorite piece of equipment?
Digital recorder, probably. And spirit box.
Yeah. And well, if it wasn't for a camera, you wouldn't be able to go back and see what you're getting, the footage you're getting.
Yeah.
Well, that's very true. Very true. Some people love to just go into a place with their flashlight on their phone and just hit their phone on record and go crazy. I've seen so many people do that in like graveyards and things like that. So if you could explore any place in the world, where would it be and why? The whole world. You got the whole world at your disposal. Money is not an object.
Suicide forest in Japan.
That's me. Let's
do it. Let's go.
I'm ready. Listen, I'm ready to go out there. Are you kidding me? I want to know what's happening out there. I want to explore all of it. How about you, gentlemen?
I'm just ready to go anywhere. If I get a phone call, I'm just ready to go anywhere. I mean, I can't pick one location because I'm just ready to go anywhere.
No bucket list?
I ain't got no bucket list because I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go 24/7.
That's awesome.
I guess mine. I mean, there's a lot of places, but for some reason, St. Albans just sticks out
Nice.
to me. I just
Awesome
like
place.
I just want to go there.
The best spirit box communication I ever had was at St. Albans.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about it.
We had gone the whole night and really not gotten a whole lot. It was one of those public investigations, so it was overbooked kind of thing. And because by this time the recorder is dead, the recorder's always dead. And somebody had said we'd had some activity, and there's a bowling alley in the basement, and somebody said there's activity in that little bathroom off of there. So I walked in there with my friend and some other guy that was tagging along, and set the spirit box down and had the K2 meter. And I said, okay, somebody was in here earlier. Are you still here? And it just came clear as day. And then the K2 hit and it said, F you. And I was like,
Wow.
wait a minute. That's not nice. And so it would talk to me, would not talk to anybody else. And it was just amazing. And I've got 2 witnesses, but I didn't get anything recorded. So it was wild.
Witness, I can't witness. Eyewitnesses are just as good as a recording, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. We went in the house a couple weeks ago down in Morristown, and we got a little clip on our phone where you can actually see the wall move out just a little bit and an orb come out of the wall. And
Wow.
it was just amazing how the film of it.
Yeah, the homeowner said she was having something touch her when she would lay down in the bed, touch her legs, touch her back. And so the video is actually me lying in the bed there waiting to be touched. And and they let the camera go and something just kind of came out and came over.
Yeah, you can see the wall move, and then whatever comes out of the wall and goes over top of Gina.
Yeah, that was just the luck of the camera being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things, is the luck factor of where the camera is placed. How many times, I did an interview with Daryl Marston, and he said to put body cams on. And I'm thinking a body cam on the front, a body cam on the back. I'm not going to miss anything, right? Like, you can't miss it at all. But so we know that, a lot of people in this field, they always classify things as dark. It's all you hear is dark this, dark that, dark spirits. With my experience, I have experienced not so much dark, maybe agitated or angry, but I think that people use the dark tag a little bit too much.
Yes.
What is your guys' feeling on that? Do you feel the same way?
I feel the same way. I feel that's good and I feel that's bad. And a lot of times, a lot of people just don't want to see the good side of it, my opinion.
And that's where I come in handy, because I can pick up on negative energy. And that's one thing I'm working on. I can feel the energies, and I can not read people, but I can know if somebody's having problems or down or mad or whatever. And so I can walk into a place and I can feel if there's something bad there. Sometimes I do, and most of the time I don't. I don't feel it, but when I do, I tell them, I say, there's something bad here. That way we can kind of get on guard a little bit and kind of watch,
Well, absolutely. And empathic intuitiveness is one of the biggest things that you need, because, when energies in a room start to shift, I'm sure you'll be the first one to be like, hold up. Everybody stop, collect it. Let's start over. And that's how I was for a very long time. And I really didn't understand what was happening, because it was living people. It wasn't just dead people. It was living people, and I'm sitting there like, why is it when I walk in this room with all, a lot of people, they used to smoke a lot of weed, and I'd walk into the room and they were like, everybody was dead. I'm like, what's going on, guys? What's happening in here? It was, it was a lot of what was going through their minds with, using drugs and things like that. But it was just, that's kind of like where I started to notice that, like, these tensions in rooms, and, even just around a single person, I started to kind of hone in on it. And, the training of it is one of the hardest things, because people's energies can actually throw you off too.
Yes.
So if they can do that, I feel that, an entity is just basically a soul that's lost its shell. It's a little bit harder to pick up on, So that leads me to the question that I ask everybody, and I need each of you to answer it individually. There's no wrong answer. It's all theory because nobody knows. And that's the best part about it. Why do you think those entities are there? Where do they come from? And what are they doing?
Well, I mean, it's been proven that we are energy. Everything is energy. And I think our soul, our essence, it has to go somewhere. Energy cannot be destroyed. It cannot be created. It's constant. So it has to go somewhere. So that's kind of my belief.
No, I agree with that. Energy can only be transferred. It can never be destroyed. It just switches to something else.
Yeah.
It's like static electricity when you're rubbing your hair and then you put the balloon on it, and it's the energy that's holding it. I that's a scientific fact, and I agree with that 100%. But go ahead, gentlemen.
I think the other thing is, I know what I'm wanting to say, but I'm trying to figure out how the best way to get it worded out. But be like, if you got a loved one or something, and something happens, and I guess you feel guilty because say you argued or something, then when you pass away, you're like, I wish I hadn't have done that. So
Unfinished business.
Yeah.
So they come back and try to make amends, tell them you're sorry. And, they just can't move on until they make up and make everything right. And then you got the, like the controller, the demonic, that's just, I'm going to stay here and torture people,
Right. I tell people that all the time. If you piss me off, I'm just going to stick around and piss you off for the rest of your life. You're going to stop it. I won't go away.
Yeah, I just think sometimes that this, like you said, it's unfinished business that somebody didn't get to do to finish their life out on this earth, or their life got taken too soon from them. I mean,
Do you think maybe sometimes they don't realize they're dead?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the TV show Ghost. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, he didn't realize he was really dead. And
Hey, I love me some Patrick Swayze.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, Patrick's good, but I mean, it's just like, what's it with the little kid? He says, I see dead people too. And Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He had no idea he was gone. None. And you know what? That's one of the things that can turn a good situation into a tough situation. Not bad, but tough, when you're talking to these entities and they don't realize that they have crossed over.
How did you die?
Right. And then they're like, well, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, okay. Let me try that again. So what are you doing here? Like, switch it up a little bit. But I mean,
got car accident, something like that. I mean, you never know.
No, definitely. I mean, so how long have you guys been the Outlaws for?
Since middle of last year is when we actually came together as a team.
Awesome. And so, a lot of people, when they get out there, and of course we talked about the old fashioned, we talked about the EVPs, what do you guys prefer to do, residentials or commercials or historicals? What's your actual preference?
I love historical, but I love history in any form, because that's usually why I have to, even in residential, I try to research to see what's happened there. But
it's like historical, places that's closed down. It's kind of good because you're finding information out for ourselves. You don't have to answer to nobody, but then again,
you don't have to be careful.
Yeah.
In a residential home, something happens, you
got to know how to react, so you don't freak out the homeowners, and So I mean,
it's good to do homes too, to help people out, and if somebody needs help, then we can get together and try to help them out and see what's in their home to get it out.
Residential, I mean, that's the importance levels up there
Yeah.
more than the fact or fiction aspect of it. I'd say.
So all of them,
Yeah,
pretty much all of them.
Well, it's no, he's absolutely right. The residentials for me personally is helping the people. The historicals is because of all of the rich history of the place. They do all have their own enjoyable aspects as you go through them for sure. And if anybody else has questions in the comments, please put your questions in, and I'll get them up on the screen so everybody, so we can interact with the audience as well. So as we get further into this more scientific new age of paranormal investigating, how are you guys going to prepare yourselves to kind of step into that role now too? Have you seen any of that yet?
I mean, equipment wise, or
Well,
what do
they have a lot of new equipment coming out, but like you said, with the energy, that's more of a scientific theory as opposed to sometimes there's different paranormal theories, but no, there is this movement that I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel it's moving towards like the scientific side with these different types of equipment. I mean, is that something that you guys are looking forward to, or something that you're kind of like resistant against, or you want to keep it to what you do now?
just talking about that the other day about finding something that could measure, infrasound and things like that to see. I mean, because I know a lot of that times that can mimic paranormal activity. I mean, so it's kind of chicken or the egg. Does that cause a paranormal activity? Is a paranormal activity it's
I get that. I understand 100% because if you look at some of the scientific formulas or properties, they tend to be. It's tough because they haven't modeled it in the paranormal forum yet. It's sort of taking the science of it and applying it to the paranormal. Just like with a lot of the different equipment that we use, it's not specifically meant for paranormal investigation, but we're modifying it to work for us. And we're in this transition period, and we're going to go back a little bit too. But if this interview took place 15 years ago, this would be a very different interview in the sense of paranormal wasn't such a big community, and do you feel that maybe the internet has helped it, but also, the internet has good and bad. We know that. But how do you feel about where the paranormal is now as it was from like 15 years ago?
I think it's wide open now. I
It's
mean,
great.
that everybody watching it, everybody's trying to get into it.
more accepting.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the buckle of the Bible Belt here, and so we still have a lot of comments a lot of times where it's but people are a lot more accepting than they would have been. I think most people believe, or they've had some type of experience. They won't necessarily talk about it, until you get there, and then they're going to go, "Oh yeah, I've had this happen." So it's a lot more out in the open than it used to be.
Speaking of the Bible Belt, tell us how being in the location that you're at now has affected the paranormal side for you. Do you guys have any stories about that?
There's a lot of people around here don't believe in this stuff, and like I always tell them, I mean, this is how I explain it to people. People's like, "Oh, there ain't no spirits and stuff," and I said, "Well, if you believe in the Holy Ghost, you got to believe in spirits." That's my point at it. And a lot of Christian people don't want to believe in ghosts and spirits and stuff, but
we get told we're crazy a lot around here. There ain't no such thing as that. Y'all just crazy. I mean,
but then you get a lot of phone calls, people wanting you to check things out too. So it's
a lot of people's opening up more here lately than they would 10 or 15 years ago.
That I see that it's a lot of places. So Denise has a question. She said, "Is there any place that you'd never go back to?"
No,
not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Some places we'd like to go back to, but
Yeah, I mean, we've been in touch. We've had a lot of different stuff happen to us, but
so far we've not been frightened off
No.
of any place yet. But
Well, I feel that once you're, let's say, into it a little bit, it's a lot harder to get frightened off like that. Of course, there's certain places that would you get nervous, but it's not a scared nervous. It's like a what am I going to find nervous
Yeah.
when you don't know what it is, right?
We the
So-
type, if we
Go
hear
ahead.
noise, instead of running away from the noise, we run towards the noise and see what it is.
That- I that's hilarious too, because a lot of stand-up comedians use that. They say, we like to investigate things, and it's funny, but absolutely. And as this, as the field moves on, where do you see you guys going now? Like, are you going to be picking up more residential soon once COVID breaks a little bit? What kind of plans do you guys have?
I have to do both. I mean, we want to keep helping people, but we also enjoy getting out and traveling.
Yeah, we've got a couple of residentials right now that are planned. One next week. We're actually doing Old South Pittsburgh Hospital the 27th of this month.
Join us and watch it live on Facebook.
Excited about that one. I've not been there. I think in April we're going to try to do with the Ghost Sisters of Marion, Ohio. We're going to do the old College Hill in West Virginia, and again sometime this year Trans-Allegheny with the Ghost Sisters. So we've got a lot of things that we're kind of planning, and we kind of weave some residential in there too.
And we've been teaming up with, like she said, the Ghost Sisters, and have another team.
There'll be another Moonshiners event coming up, I'd say, before too long.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about the Moonshiners too. I know, like you said, when we were before we got on camera.
Well, I'm a big mouth.
Tell us all about it. Tell us from start to finish. Go ahead.
I'm a big mouth. Got a lot of people on my friends on a Facebook page, and I mean, I talk to different people, and I race RC cars, and I get involved with a lot of different people. So me and Jeff was talking about going to this event that was having over here in Greenville. So we got together and went over there with the Moonshiners. Started talking to the Moonshiners about doing a paranormal Moonshiners event. So we got some of the Moonshiners to team up with us to go to the shrine. So we called it Shine at the Shrine.
Nice.
And we went there, and we had the Ghost Sisters up there with us. We had Ewok from the Moonshiners. Travis Shipley, he's going to be on Master Distillery the 16th.
This month, yeah.
John Boyd, that was actually on Moonshiners, Finding Bigfoot, and
Barbecue Pit Master.
Yeah, Barbecue Pit Master.
We were actually turning people away.
Yes, we was turning people away for this event. So now there's going to be a part 2 of it.
Yeah, it wasn't the normal investigation, but it was a lot of fun, and kind of let them see a little bit about what we do, and we showed them some spirits, and they showed us some. So we're
and the shrine,
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The shrine up in Bristol, Tennessee, is a great place to go.
Amazing.
It's an amazing place. Rick, the caretaker of the shrine, is one of the best guys you will ever meet in your life. And the Moonshiners really did. And we had a rock singer with us too, Michelle Lee. She was up there investigating. Well, she come for a while, but she was there with us. So we had
Hollywood psychic, Patty Negri, come and actually do a video seance with us that night. So that was really interesting.
And I mean, we got to give the Ghost Sisters a big thanks for helping us out that night. And, I mean,
that was a big help.
Yeah, the Ghost Sisters, if y'all ain't followed them, follow them, because they'll help us out a whole lot up there.
No, they were in the chat too, which is really awesome. Bringing a lot of teams together like that. But that sounds like an exceptional event. I mean, it's like you said, it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but those are usually the best ones, aren't they?
Oh yeah, we got the Moonshiners on it. They're having a barbecue thing. When is it? June 5th. June the 5th. They want us to come down for the barbecue. And then
judging.
Yeah. Then they're having a watch party for Travis Shipley the 16th of this month. They'll want paranormal teams to join up with them up there for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I would be excited to see that for sure. I think that's going to be pretty crazy time too. You add a little bit of the moonshine in there too. I mean, that's going to be something special. I'll tell you that. Tell you that.
It's different. I mean, it really is. It just,
If you're not seeing things before, then you probably will after. So.
Well, I would think so. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome.
But I mean, we know when to have fun. We know when to be serious. And
Well, that's part of it too, you know. It's always that good line of being safe, but also having a good time too. So you're out there to have a good time. So that's important. That's very important.
well, it's like our energy, though. I mean, you can tell we got high energy, and just, you know, we believe just what we get as a combined group on an investigation.
More than we ever got with other teams, and
Yeah, it just
better
we think
response.
that it draws out, you know, the spirits to us because we're putting out so much good energy and everything. I mean,
we go into investigation. We all pumped up like getting ready to go in a boxing match for 10 rounds.
But I think you're onto something there as well. It's the group energy is so important. It's so important, you know. Sometimes people, when they, you know, they like Red Bulls and all that stuff, and then they end up towards the end they're kind of like crash and get too much, and then it's kind of like it throws the energy off on everything. So a good energy walking in and being open is one of the things to me that's very, very important.
Yeah. And that's why we usually try to do. We usually try to have a real good energy going into the plays.
and watch out for each other.
Yeah. And we do a lot of video chatting to each other during the week. And so we know each other on and off camera, and we know how we act when we get out in the field. If something's going on, then we can be there for each other.
Like that's also very important too, is being able to look out for each other and being close. You know, that closeness also kind of gives like a friendly atmosphere for the spirits to come out and actually make contact with you. It really, really does. It can, like I keep saying, the energy, but the energy could throw it off. There's an energy inside of you and there's an energy around you. It's all interacting. It's all interacting with each other. So I think you know, the fact that you guys get a lot of contact like that, I think is awesome. And I think that really, you know, I think that really bodes for what you're trying to do as well, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So another question is, it's not so much a question, but, you know, do you guys have a story that kind of sticks out besides the one you told us already? Tell us about some of the investigations that you've done and what has happened on them.
Which one?
Well, tell them about the Greene County Jail too.
Oh,
that was a good one at the Greene County Jail.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
most of the night. It was just kind of flat, nothing really going on. We just kind of looking, you know,
There's some videos of this on
just
pages.
asking questions, trying to get communication. So we kind of like stalled out for a minute. She had sat down. I'd sat down to get a drink. Jimmy was at the video camera.
We had cameras basically in every direction, which managed to catch all of our reactions at once. So, and there was this loud bang from a corner cell that we still have no idea what it was, but you could see all of us on the camera just like with his drink. Yeah, where I was like, what was that? And so yeah, that was kind of funny, but like, which direction do we go? But that's a good one.
Down there at the woods, at Mike's.
Yeah.
When we was over there and that woman.
Yeah. We got some property down here in Greenville, and
actually close to where the investigation is this next weekend.
Yes. And so far since 1971, there's been 21 killings on the property.
Actually, since the 1920s, it was known as no man's land because there were so many deaths and horrible things that had happened in this area. People burning people alive in their. It was a big moonshining area too, so that's a big part of it.
Bunch of nuns got burned up in a house.
Yeah, missionaries were said they turned moonshiners in and they set their house on fire with them in it, and
man,
horrible.
It was just a horrible area.
To this day, if you had to hide a body, that's probably where you should take it because nobody's going to look. So
Wow. Well, wow.
But we there, it's
I'm not going to advocate that, but we could, we could let people know and all that. But
what 3:30.
yeah,
About 3:30 in
middle
the
of the
morning.
night.
We'd been down at the jail helping the Girl Scouts earn a badge. And so we left from the jail and went to the woods out there. And we was standing there, and all of a sudden you could hear this woman holler, "Help me." And there was 4 of us there at the time. We had another team member. And we all heard it from different directions. So we started moving. And then I don't remember who realized what was going on. And we was like, "Hey, everybody stop. Let's get back together." Because that's not one place that you want to be singled out.
Yeah, it was trying to pull us all away from each other. It was trying to pull one here, one this way, and one that way. And we was like, no, something's trying to separate us all to get away, to pull us away from each other.
well, sure. We actually have a question from the audience that says, has a spirit ever followed you home? And if so, how did you get rid of it?
That's you.
You're in on this one.
Well, I got one here at the house right now with me. And,
wow.
and she's in a doll, and I call her Lucy. And my fiance at first, when I brought her here, she didn't like her. She was uncomfortable with Lucy. But she kind of feels safe now knowing Lucy's here. Lucy's kind of like a watchdog now. She's protecting over the house. But that's...
Well, what about the one that built the box for?
Yeah, we had one here.
I think that's more along the lines of what they was asking.
Yeah, we had one here one time that it got brought here by something else. I was on the other team and stuff, and we was actually recording for a TV show, and it got brought in here, and we built a mirror box and actually trapped the spirit in the mirror box. But the other team I was on, they kind of got aggravated because I'm the type, I like to try to talk to the spirits and be nice to them and just try to work with them instead of try to have to fight with them. Because it's hard to fight something you can't see.
Very true. Very true. Tell us about how you came to acquire the doll with Lucy in it. That sounds like an interesting story as well.
Well, this man, he watched a lot of the TV shows and stuff, and his wife had this doll, and he watched a lot of the paranormal shows on TV, and everything you put around Lucy, if you put a drink can or something around Lucy, you can walk out of the room 2 or 3 hours later, the can be knocked off the shelf, whatever. And he told his wife that she has to get rid of that doll. So she gave it to me. I brought it here, and I've done some talking with Lucy and set some K2 meters up around her. And I got a video of her when I had my K2 meter up against her. And you know how much a K2 meter weighs. Don't weigh nothing. And you can actually see Lucy moves back away from the K2 meter. And
wow.
But the guy was uncomfortable with the doll, so he made his wife give the doll away. She's supposed to be a 14-year-old girl that was picked on during school, and a bunch of boys caught her in a park and beat her to death and killed her.
Damn.
And that's what Lucy, her spirit's supposed to be.
Wow. Wow. So now, if somebody was to just give you another one of these dolls with an entity in it, you'll take it, no problem, huh? You like to have, not that you like to have them in the house, but you feel like that comfortable with it to be able to just take them into the house? And
no, Lucy was the only one I really felt comfortable with. We got one from Morristown, that house where I was telling you about the wall moving and the orb. We got
like a little.
It's a Buddhist statue. It's the female version of Buddha. Kind of.
Yeah, we removed it from the house, but I didn't bring it home with me. Jeff or Gina didn't take it home with them. We took it up to the shrine. Rick up at the shrine, he's a caretaker, and he welcomes anything in. If you got anything that got an attachment to it, Rick takes very good care of it. And I mean, he got a whole room full of attachment stuff.
Probably going to have to explain the shrine.
Yeah. Tell us about the shrine. Tell us about the shrine.
Rick is actually a Shintoist, and so the shrine was originally built for his use, and then when he started doing remodeling about 15 years ago, had some just crazy activity, and ended up building another part of the shrine. It's more of a neo-pagan kind of feel to it, and there's been a lot of different faiths that have come there to practice. He's hosted Wiccan weddings. He's had Buddhists. He's had Druids, just a little bit of everything there. And he's actually built a dragon table. You'll see it in some of our videos. And it was built as a portal to communicate with the other side. And there's like 12 different layers to it. Every faith that has been there contributed something to that table. So you've got crystals in there. You've got, feathers. All the elements are represented, and it weighs over 6,000 pounds. So it's a beautiful work of art. It's made from dragonstone.
That sounds incredible. That sounds amazing.
And
you can see pictures and stuff. We got it all over Facebook.
And the Japanese believe that everything has a spirit or an essence, and they call them kami. And so the kami are welcome there. That's their place, and anything is welcome, good or bad. And so Rick basically keeps the balance. So there's a lot of dark energy there, but then there's a lot of good things also.
Yes.
That's awesome. Have you guys encountered anything that was demonic or dark in any way, shape, or form?
Well, something got you that night.
Yeah, I've been, I got pushed over. There's a woman, an older woman, her name's Marge. She does comedian on TV, on Facebook. And we was doing a walkthrough, letting her see the shrine. And I was picking up the lid of the coffin, letting her see in the coffin. And something is over in that corner right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the corner where the coffin is at that we don't exactly know what it is right now, but it's something unease.
Something unfavorable, shall we say.
Right here's my Lucy doll.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, wow. Is Lucy talking to you at all right now?
No, I just told them to bring her down here so I can let people see her.
That's awesome. Well, if you talk to Lucy, tell her I said hi.
I will.
For sure.
She got her own room. She stays in her own room.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
44-year-old man playing with a doll.
Oh, listen, I know plenty of people with dolls that have, I am into every aspect of the paranormal. It's crazy. Even more so into other subjects too. And like I was asking you guys before, what are you guys going to maybe check out the cryptids since you're in like the Appalachia area? The Bigfoots and, all that fun stuff.
Oh, well.
I'd like to.
Yeah, John Boy on Finding Bigfoot, he wants to do some stuff like that too. So, we got people that want us to try different things with them.
I like the UFO aspect. I've always thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
I love UFOs too. We're not limited to just paranormal here. We could talk about all of it. Have you guys ever had any encounters with a cryptid or UFO?
Yeah, well, I got some on my a picture. We own a little RC racetrack, and the guy that actually owned it, I run the racetrack, but he was sitting on a driver's stand, and no power poles, no nothing was around the racetrack, and there was like 6 lights come up around in the sky and lit the whole racetrack up. And he actually took pictures of it, and I do have pictures of that on my phone.
That's wild. That's wild.
And that, like I said, but around this area supposed to be one of the hottest spots for UFOs.
Well, yeah, talk about that a little bit. What was the name of the highway? Was it 107?
107 here in Greenville, Tennessee.
That's awesome. That's wild. I was telling you before, I think it's where the ley line actually has a cross section with another ley line, and it's a very powerful thing. This talking about energies. This is basically energy that comes from the ground with these centers that just where energy flows across the planet. It kind of gives us our electromagnetic field at the same time. And the places where these things cross has like tons of shadow people, just portals to the other side, a ton of stuff. UFO encounters, who knows? Maybe the UFOs come down and recharge and then shoot off somewhere else. It's like a nuclear power plant of paranormal, all different types.
I was looking for that information, I think, yesterday, trying to find out where the ley lines were in Tennessee, if there were.
And see the same.
There definitely is.
Same place where this UFO was spotted is the same spot where that 21 killings is since 1971. It's all in that same location.
Wow. So maybe, and this is just me totally throwing it out there theory wise, there's some sort of residual energy, just kind of like the suicide forest where people were driven to this point to just murder people there. It was the spot. And also it's otherworldly in the sense that it reaches above the earth and kind of like a signal light to UFOs to come on down. And like, if we go into Bigfoot, my idea of a Bigfoot is like an interdimensional creature that with the snap of a finger can just span off into another dimension or a parallel universe. That's why it's like captain of, best hide and seek player ever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, I think me and Jimmy got chased by one.
Over in that same area.
Yep.
What the hell were you guys doing? Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. Let's get into it.
We were actually, me and Jimmy was looking for the remains of a cabin that had been burnt down with the nuns in it. And, but you got to park at a cemetery and walk down it's like kind of in between a walking trail and the AVT trail. But there's supposedly an unmarked grave back behind the cemetery. And we was like, okay, we'll start looking for it. And then we're like, well, that cabin's up the trail there. So we start walking and we walk and we walk. We come up to a gravel road and we was like, maybe we shouldn't be here somewhere where we're not. So we turned and started hiking back in, and you could hear footsteps. Every time you hear a thump, you could feel a little vibration.
Yeah, you can feel the ground moving.
And then you'd hear something hit a tree. And then there was something thrown up beside of us. I don't know if it's a rock or dirt clod or what. But
me and Jeff started moving pretty quick up there.
Yeah, we hit video and we're sitting there like, hey, if you don't see us anymore, we're here. Send help.
That's when you start running on water across ponds. You're like, all right, mount. Like, when you get touched by like a jellyfish in the ocean and you just haul ass out of there. You know what I mean?
I told Jeff, I said, no offense, though. I said, I love you, Jeff, but you ain't going to outrun me because I'm going to trip you if we have to take off running.
You're going to be the first one to go down. That's it. I'm out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah, the family that we're doing the investigation for next weekend said that there's something in the woods there. The daughter had said it when she was little. You could run up the road and there was something there. If you ran, you could hear it running. If you walked, it would walk, and it would always stop at the edge of the woods. And then her mother said the same thing, and her mother had said the same thing also.
If you remember when we was walking the old Peavine Railroad,
yep,
coming down that, well, it's a driveway now, but when we was walking it, we kept hearing something walking with us.
And see, all of that is right in the same area.
And women say, how does something live that long? It's gone through 3 generations. Is this, what is it?
That's wild to keep exploring that area too. That area, there's something going on there for sure. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, there's definitely something going on with that area. I would love to look up the history of that area too, just to see if I could find anything that just stands out.
If you look up Peavine Railroad, you will find in Greenville, Tennessee, look up Peavine Railroad, you would find the area it's in. There's all kinds of caves up in the area.
Oh, there we go.
Burial grounds, yeah.
Yes. So, and I mean, the last people that owned the land before my buddy bought the property was two brothers, and they got in a fight over a drop cord. And Rick actually had a shotgun in his hand, and when his other brother come in and tried to start the fight, he shot him with the shotgun.
Oh man.
So I mean, it's been murders after murders, people killing people. I mean,
And that was 2012.
Yeah, that was 2012 when
was the last ones that we know of happened.
Yep.
You said what was it? It was Lebanon Railroad?
Peavine.
Peavine, like P-E-B-O-N? Oh,
Vine,
Peavine.
like P-Vine.
Gotcha. I'm looking it up right now. We're going to go over this one. This sounds crazy. There it is. Got it. Peavine Railroad, huh?
Yeah, they used to have a turntable at the top of the mountains up
It
here.
was actually, I think, a logging railroad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Peavine and Greene County Community News. There's so much here.
Yeah.
Country Facts by Folklore and Andy Reddick. It's got the Peavine Villages of Van Buren, March 1, 1882.
That was stores. That was it was like a whole little town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I found it by Andy Reddick. I also got pictures here too, which is these are pretty awesome pictures. I'm not going to lie about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share screen so everybody can see what I'm seeing, because this is fun stuff. You know, exploring these places are just, you know, it's just an added bonus with doing a show like this. We get to look at all this cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's cool going to Brushy Mountain. It's cool going to other places, but actually, when you get to go to places like that,
In your own backyard.
yeah, in your own backyard, that means more than going to Brushy Mountain or somewhere else.
Absolutely, because there's no like time limits. There's no, you know, you have all of it at your disposal, and you can just keep going back until you find more and find more. The last one of Peavine, look at that, huh?
Yeah, see, we thought about trying to do like a little documentary or something to do
Yeah.
with the Peavine Railroad.
There's actually kids that worked the railroad. I mean,
Yes.
they
It's
had
called
kids.
it's called Ghost Railroad, a ghost railroad.
Well, it's called everything up here. What's that?
Wow.
Margarita Falls.
Margarita.
Yeah,
Falls.
it's right there where the turntable used to be,
That's wild. That is wild.
and that's right in my back door.
So you could literally just take your spirit box and your dowser rods, just walk right back outside and be like, all right, let's go. Let's just hang in there.
Yep.
You guys must have catalogs of evidence. Catalogs.
There's actually some more. A friend of ours has done some research. There's some places around here where some public hangings actually took place. So we're
Holy
going to
cow.
be checking that out here before too long.
Yeah, Greenville, Tennessee got a lot of history down here. We got General Morgan Inn. It was a hospital for the Civil War, and they used to let a lot of people go in there and investigate at the General Morgan Inn. And then you got old Greene County Jail.
You got the church downtown.
Yeah,
with
we
the
got a
cannonball still in it.
Yeah, we got a church down here that still got a cannonball in it.
Oh wow. This is a right here is them working on a railroad all the live long day, like you hear in the song.
Yes. So
That's wild stuff.
Was it General Morgan that was killed?
yeah, General Morgan
shot
was
and
killed
killed.
right in the back door of the General Morgan Inn.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I didn't know
Well, if you think about it too, you know, a lot of the coming up in our country was those background railroads were like the centers of life that went back and forth. And you're so close to it that there's probably such a rich history of even back to like Manifest Destiny when they started them all going west. You were probably like one of the last points before they hit that, you know, Seward's Folly and, you know, the center of the country, which we bought from Alaska and France, where we bought all that stuff. So, I mean, that's just wild stuff. I love history. So to me, it's all fascinating. I think it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's good to bring it out like that because people like you probably ain't never heard of that. And they'll be doing some researching on it now and find out more about it.
I'm gonna contact you guys in 5 days with a complete presentation. I'm gonna have it done to where it's like a PowerPoint. I'll be like, oh, did you guys know about that? Did you guys know about that? History is my go-to. You know, that's how I got involved with UFOs and then came into paranormal was through history. It was like, you know, I did terrible in school, and the one thing I did amazing was history. It was like the one thing I loved, you know. But so, I
It'd be
mean,
hard
you guys have a lot of folklore too, right? I mean, like, tell us about some of the folklore around where you live, since it's such a rich area.
Folklore,
Myth, legends.
well, this isn't really folklore. When we were on the other team, there is a location not too far from here. We're in the 60s. There was a plane crash that killed all 39 on board, and nobody really knows why it happened. Everything was fine, and then it actually crashed into the side of a mountain and basically disintegrated. And they say, I mean, there are still people around that worked it, and we talked to a lot of them. Bodies were hanging from the trees. That the one body that was intact was a man that jumped from the plane before it crashed. And so everything else was just destroyed. Black box was never found, of course. At the time, none of the funeral homes could handle that many people. And so they took them to a building in town and basically laid them out. It was a community building, and they laid it out on the gym floor to be reassembled and identified. And they laid there for over 2 weeks being identified before they were shipped back. So that's kind of a very interesting.
You can still find pieces of the airplane up on the side of the mountain from the crash, and that was back in 1960.
Wow.
So that's kind of a conspiracy theory thing that we were looking into.
What about Long Island?
Oh yeah,
That's all Native American, but
yeah. So yeah, that was one thing that we've looked into that it was conspiracy theory, but not necessarily folklore.
And see that everybody was on the plane crash was supposed to had cancer or was a lawyer.
3 doctors.
Yeah,
doctors that on there that were actually headed to Oak Ridge, was our nuclear facility here in Tennessee. And these were like blood hematologists kind of thing.
to prove that Oak Ridge was causing cancer. And
oh, I see now. Now I see.
A lot of weird things going on with that.
They definitely would not want people to get that information. And if they had any information, was it outgoing or was it coming in?
it was coming into Oak Ridge.
So they were getting ready to do it, but they
Yeah.
wanted to silence it. That's wild. That's definitely something. You should go up there with a metal detector.
We did.
Up there you go. Tell us about it. Tell us about it. What'd you find?
Well, I actually found quite a few pieces of the airplane. It's still the same color. We dug around. I probably found 10, 15 different pieces of it. But as far as the black box ain't nowhere to be found.
No, they took that when it crashed. They found that immediately. That was the first thing to go.
They said the FBI was on the ground, like literally within the 12 hours.
Wow.
And ran everybody out. But
yeah, I don't know if you can share it on your page, but I actually got a picture that I can send you of the.
Send it to the in Messenger. I can pull it up and there it is. I got 2 of them right here.
Oh, that other one was I didn't mean to send that other one.
oh, what'd you send?
That Samuel one
Disregard
has
that.
email. So
Oh, it looks like a restaurant. Is that a restaurant? The other one? Hold on. Let me download it and we're going to pop it up once it downloads, which is pieces of the plane.
With the other team, we were actually on the mountain on the anniversary of the crash.
Right.
And had to be up there at that time, at 6:00. And so we're all standing up here, cameras running, recorders going, waiting for something to happen. And I had an ovulus at the time, which is not one of my favorite things. I don't swear by it, but we're all up here in dead silence. And exactly 6:05, the ovulus goes, surprise. So
Wow.
that was crazy.
yeah, so I mean, you can find pieces like that of the plane still to this day.
That's pretty wild. I mean, this is why I love doing this with this specific app that I use, or the StreamYard, is I get to get the pictures. We could put stuff up. We could share screens, you know. And one of the great things about all that stuff, there's so much. It feel like, in my area, I live in like upstate New York a little bit, not too far from the city, about an hour and 15 minutes. But it's kind of like it's got history, but it's all been found out. It seems like where you guys are, you have like a lot of stuff that you could really look into. That's going to be like investigation type of stuff, and that's there's a lot of calamity and residual type of energy there, which is probably why you get so much activity. But the fact is, coupled with the ability that you guys have, with the intuitiveness, but also with the fact that you guys are so close knitted in now and now know each other and go out and give off this good energy, you guys are like a magnet for whatever's going on out there.
And just like that property where that 21 killing is happened, a lot of people can't get on that property. And
really?
Yes. And because I'm real good, the landowner is my best friend, so I can go there at 3 o'clock in the morning if I want to.
So you got the in. That's good. That's good. Do you guys have a lot of deer hunting out there too?
Oh, God, yes. Deer, bears.
Oh,
turtle.
man.
Yeah,
You got to be careful out there in that field.
Yeah.
That was one of the first places I proved to you that I could feel negative energy was over in the mics.
Yep.
Tell us about that. Tell us about how that all came about, what the situation was. Give us some story. Let's go. Hit me with it.
I was out of work, and me and Jimmy got together and went down there. He wanted to, we was metal detecting.
Yep.
We was out metal detecting, and the property's got an old house and barn. And we started metal detecting. And then there was something, 6 foot tall, just broke a bunch of limbs. I mean, it was right there 15 foot from us. Never seen nothing run, but 6 foot in the air from there down, the limbs were moving, cracking. I mean, that was one of those what the crap moments. And
as a house there, you can go in the house, walk through the house, come back out of the house, drive down his driveway, come back up and stop in front of the house, and the light in the kitchen will be on. And there ain't no power hooked up in the house.
Wires has been cut, meters been pulled.
What's going on with that house? There's a lot of activity in that house. It's just lit up.
We haven't investigated it. We've just walked through it a few times.
It's abandoned.
The guy died in the house, but we have not really investigated in the house yet, but we do got permission to go whenever we want to. So we've been this kind of,
it's cold.
We push it off to the side.
But the barn.
Yeah.
What are you guys expecting to find in the house? What do you think is going to happen when you get into that house? Let's predict a little bit. Let's get a little bit into, what's going to be. What do you think you're going to find in there?
I think there's something a little darker in there.
Yeah. I think it's a dark.
I don't think it's like a demonic hurt you dark, but I think there's just something there that has the ability to hurt you if it wanted to.
Yeah. Well, like I said, all of that property right there together is
almost like it's cursed.
Yeah, it's like it's cursed. Everybody that owns that property for some reason get hurt, get killed, or something. I mean, it's something that this ain't right with that property. My buddy Mike that owns it, he owns a backhoe company, a rocking company, and his backhoe, he went down there to clean the property up. His backhoe just quit pulling on him, took it to the shop, took it apart, nothing was wrong with it.
He was actually burying
the trailer
where the brother had killed the other brother.
Wow.
And he died himself.
And the backhoe, nothing was wrong with it. They took the rear end transmission part, nothing was wrong with it. And his son took the door off the side of the backhoe and was getting ready to give it to his daddy, Mike, and it slid out of his hand and about cut his face off.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, there's just so much.
Plus the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, and there's rattlesnakes. I mean, those he was down there cleaning it up, and that was like 6 rattlesnakes about attacked him while he was down there on his backhoe.
I would watch out for that place. That place sounds creepy as anything.
Yeah, well,
It is.
Well, me and Jimmy, we was back there and he said, I don't like this over here. And he walked where the trailer was. And you asked me, he said, is there any part around here you don't like? And I was like, well, and I walked over this little area and I'm like, I don't like it right here. I'm like, there's something bad right here. And Jimmy's like, oh yeah. He said, that's where they buried the trailer. So
Oh my
Jimmy
God.
still picked up where the trailer was, but I picked up where the trailer is.
When you feel like an intuitive feeling of something maybe not right or bad, what's the first thing like physiologically with you that happens? Like, do you start to sweat a little bit? Do you what like how do you feel it? How does it actually feel to you being intuitive like that?
I start getting a little tight in my chest, just like a pressure. And then I get my arms kind of tense up, I start getting a little goosebumpy, and just I get nervous, like I got to watch, and I can't. I get moved. I can't be still, and then usually I'll tell one of them or something. I'm like, I don't feel good. There's something bad here.
Yep.
And but since I've been out with them, it's expanded beyond negativity. Like down in Morristown, we were standing there. We hadn't even started investigating yet. We were still talking to the tenant, and I felt something just tap me on the hand, and I almost instantly started crying. I mean, I just felt so bad, depressed, and I was like, okay, I can't do this in here. So I walked out and got Gina. She just looked at me. She said, "Are you all right?" And I told her, I said, "Man," I said, I'm sad. And it was ended up being, we believe, about an 11-year-old girl.
Yes.
10, 11-year-old girl, because I could see her when she touched me, and she just wasn't happy. And we believe that was the little Buddha statue. She was connected with it.
That's wild. That's a wild story, man. And I asked that because a lot of people they don't realize that they have this innate ability to really get into these things and actually feel that like you do, and it's tough for them to understand how it works. So we have a video here. All right, let's download the video too.
That's a 20-second video of that house Jeff was just talking about right there. If you look on the right side where the wall is, you can see the wall move, and you can see the orb come out of it.
What you saying?
But just to finish what I was, but right before I'm pulling it up right now. It's got to download really quick. But it's this weird feeling, and people don't realize that they have that ability. It's difficult for them to really process what's happening. So that's why I ask you, because a lot of people can relate when other people say it once they hear it from other people as well. And I think that you guys are doing a lot of good out there. And that's just a little bit more good you guys are doing. So let's play this video. It's a 20-second video. Hang on. Here we go.
Kind of dark.
Is that the slowed down version? I'd say it's really dark.
Yeah, it's really dark right there on our end. But you can actually see the wall move a little bit.
Right.
And
hang on 1 second. I can get it even better. We'll get it even better. Trust me, this is what I do, man. I got
He's got the equipment for it.
Got this thing locked up.
I hadn't shared that yet on any Facebook or stuff, because there's a couple people looking at the video right now.
Right.
Yeah,
this has
been submitted.
This is all brand new stuff. That's what it is. Hang on. Let's hold on. Don't play yet. Take it easy. Let's get it going. All right. So this is the best. They actually just opened up this share screen ability like this. It's pretty wild. But there it is. So it's set to the background so you can see it a little bit better.
Make your page bigger.
Is this the slowed down one? So I actually Okay, there it went.
Yeah.
I seen it.
Yeah, you can see the wall back there move, and then you can see it go over top of Gina.
Perfectly round, see-through.
Oh, I saw it. That thing was wild. I saw that. I love doing video like that. People sometimes are like, "Oh, why do you do videos like that?" Because it really makes sense to look at it, and the evidence is paramount. And you guys, like I said, I'm sure you guys have a catalog of that stuff. We could do a whole episode of just logging what you have and putting it out there. That's also why I looked up your YouTube as well. The YouTube's, we could pull a YouTube up right now too.
We don't have a whole lot on YouTube. A lot of it's uncut, long stuff. I try to put a lot of the stuff on Facebook.
We got the shrine at the shrine, though. We got the
shrine.
Yeah, we also have where you guys are sitting in the room.
That's at the jail, I believe.
There's 2 of them, but hang on. Let's pull this up and let the people enjoy your work. This is good stuff. It is. Let's see. We'll remove that from the studio.
My fiance just texted me while I was down here. I got a text from her, and she said, "I think Lucy is mad at the little camera just fell off the table for no reason."
Oh boy, that's not good. But hopefully Lucy is not angry with us. So
yeah, that's the shrine right there.
Oh
Yep.
gosh,
that's pretty wild.
whose camera is that?
That was my
That's
full
when-
spectrum camera.
That's when we was up there with.
The light's glaring off
Ain't
of
that-
it right now.
So this was like what?
That was Ken.
November. Okay.
Yeah, that was when we was up there with Ken.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the dragon table we were telling you about.
It's pretty awesome. I like that table. That's for sure.
Now
It's good. It's good quality too.
Yeah. Now TikTok got a lot better videos on TikTok.
Well, usually the good stuff I'll
Yeah.
share from TikTok to Facebook.
See, they all work hand in hand. I'm trying to, I just made Full Spectrum Network, so we're expanding on each platform. So it's a cool thing. I mean, but this is pretty awesome to watch you guys in action. I mean, everybody likes to talk about it, but to be able to see it too, I think is pretty epic. I think that's a really cool thing. And I think that you guys are really doing some great stuff out there. This is really, really fun stuff. So make sure you follow them on TikTok as well, guys. Also go to their YouTube page, subscribe to their YouTube, go to TikTok, find them on TikTok. I'm going to find you on TikTok. I'm Full Spectrum Universe everywhere. So we'll be TikTok friends too. We can
Followed you a couple days ago.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
And Facebook. We got a lot on Facebook.
Yeah, and you be seeing more videos of the shrine because we do. We can get in the shrine about any time we want to do investigation at the shrine. So you will be seeing more videos and
very unique place.
Yeah.
So, and we like going live.
Yeah, we like going Facebook Live to show people that we ain't hiding nothing or making something up.
Well, that's the best part too, and when other people see you collecting that evidence, you also are showing them, your process. And that's an important thing too, because people coming up who don't know exactly how to do things or to approach things, they take people that they've seen do things like, collect evidence and go to places. It sets a precedent for the next generation of people coming out too, which, I am one of those next generation people. I haven't been doing it for too long. So I try and absorb everybody's information. So when I get to do it myself, again, when this whole thing lifts and we can go back out, I've been doing it for a little while, but I'm sure you guys have more experience with it too. So it helps refine my skill in it too. So I think it's really important to put that stuff out there. That like there is a lot of negativity when certain people put stuff out because, they're not either a household name or things like that. And I don't believe in that. I think everybody has something to offer. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You
yes.
can learn something from everybody. Yeah.
That's why we had this event that we had last week up at the shrine with the Moonshiners and the Ghost Sisters. We invited the Ghost Sisters in to help us out. We learned new things off them. They'll come in, helped us out, and they'll learn stuff off of us. And we teamed up together. And hey,
I love doing that when you have two different teams that haven't worked together, and then there's like this moment where you're watching each other set stuff up and see what's going on, and you're looking, you're like, okay, what are they doing? Well, how you
What's
want to
that?
explain that? Explain that to me. Well, what do you got that going on for? I think that's the coolest thing. I
They'll go,
forever learn. You know, it
they'll
doesn't
go
matter what
very
subject it
nice.
is.
They got a very nice box. It's called a
Ink box.
ink box, and I really like the ink box. It kind of looks like an old radio, and it's a real cool.
Basically, a spirit box without the white noise.
Oh, wow. I the first interview I ever did on this network was Ron Gonzalez, Lourdes Gonzalez and Ron Iacovetti, and they do Entity, I think it's Entity Voices Paranormal Investigations. They were actually doing it the opposite way. They were taking this old school way of doing things where they were taking the white noise and listening for the fluctuations almost in the white noise to get like a spirit box. It was an old school type of spirit box. It was actually the old European way of doing it. It was awesome. It was awesome. I was like sitting there, like just my eyes were open really wide, like, oh my God, how are they doing that? What are they doing right now? But it was awesome. It was awesome. And they're fellow New Yorkers too. So it's like it was really cool because if I really, maybe I'll go out with them eventually and we can do it in person instead of over, it was during this whole pandemic and stuff like that. But that's the other thing that's holding a lot of people back. There's so many teams ready to just hit the ground running when all the restrictions are up and the face masks is a hindrance because it's blocking your breathing. You can't look around as much.
Yeah.
We're sorry we went laughing at you there saying that.
No. Hey, listen,
we had my doll down here, Lucy and stuff, and she was getting moved out of this room and go back up there, and we never had. I mean, you never froze up the whole time we've been on live with you, and all of a sudden,
Lucy back.
all of a
as soon
sudden,
as she got up by where we got your monitor at, you kind of froze up and skipped.
Wow.
Once you got around by the door, you came back.
That's awesome. I did a like a after hour show after we used to do like 1 hour episodes and then an hour off on Patreon. And my partner, who's the psychic medium, she had an entity flow through the computer. You want to talk about old school TV squiggle lines like this? I've never seen a computer do that in my entire life. The thing almost it froze. It did the lines and it made this horrendous noise, like the buzzer in my title scene, like in the intro to this where it goes beep beep, like that part. It was the worst thing I've ever experienced. I had to take the headphones off. It was crazy.
tell them what happened to us and the Ghost Sisters Moonshiners up there at Rick's Saturday night with the K2 meters and all of the K2 meters we had going off.
Oh yeah.
Some type of energy surge that we had around the dragon table. Because everybody has their devices out. Usually it's pretty dead. No electricity on that back wall, and suddenly everything was just lighting up like crazy. And the caretaker's running down the wall going, there's no electricity here. There's no reason why this should be happening. And it just stayed. Everything was pegging red. And then so a few minutes later, we got up, took a break, went outside. Nothing, gone.
4 K2 meters. We had 4 up, and all of them was pegging red.
Wow. Definitely something passed through. In some way, shape, or form. Had to be. What else could it have been? That's crazy.
A lot of energy around that table.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Let me ask you this question. This is a different question. You know how there's residual energies, right? Something traumatic happens in a room.
Yes.
For you guys, how do you decipher the difference between that holdover energy and an actual entity? Because sometimes it can get a little blurry between the lines there.
Can we communicate with it? Is it something that you see over and over again? That kind of thing. I mean, is it intelligent or is it just residual?
Awesome. Now, another aspect of paranormal is para-unity. Everybody knows what para-unity is and how important it is to work together. my thoughts on it, and I'll let you guys think about it afterwards, is what we were talking about before. Everybody has something to learn from everybody,
Yes.
and everybody, even if they're the first investigation ever, they may think a different way than you. And it's always intriguing to me to see how new people think, because they're not used to the tried and true ways, and they kind of sometimes think outside of the box. What say you guys of Para Unity?
I was actually a little surprised at how supportive that people have been since we have started doing this, and our name's kind of gotten out there a little bit. I was really surprised that most people are pretty supportive. I think everybody does things differently, and I'm a huge skeptic. Really, I mean, I'm an open-minded skeptic. I'm willing to believe you, but you're going to have to prove it. So, I mean,
and we're just now getting a chance to work with other teams.
yeah.
So I mean, we got a lot to still got a lot to learn, but I
think you never stop learning. I mean, it's
Exactly.
the past record with us is wouldn't really much work with other teams.
Yes.
But since we formed, we want to work with other teams. So, it's just a new aspect of going out on the hunt. So,
Well, that's awesome too. It takes time. You have to get used to each other before you can really branch out with other people, because you have to know what the other people are going to do with their movements, how they react to things. That's always a good thing too. And I like that. I think that there always is something to learn from everybody. And I think that that's a huge thing. And another aspect that maybe, how do you, and this is going to be like a question that you might be able to answer, you might not be able to answer, but there are people who are putting not genuine evidence out there. We're not going to say who they are or what they are. How do we discern, or at least how do we stop sort of that happening in your mind?
I don't really think you can stop it.
I don't think you can, but just
kind of ignore it and go on. I mean, I don't think everything that happens is paranormal. I mean, I know that, yes, I believe possession can happen, attachments can happen, but everybody has depression at some point in their life. I don't think that's necessarily something that's paranormal.
Family member dies.
That's one of my big pet peeves, is for somebody to say oh, this is paranormal. You have your,
Well, like that one video I got sent, it had that little creepy voice singing "What a Wonderful Life."
Yeah.
And it was sent to me. The guy was like, "What do you think about this?" As far as I know, there wasn't nobody around, and so he sent it to me. I sent it to them, and I got to look, and it was
5 minutes.
It was actually in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where he took the video at. He was videotaping his son, and she found the actual video of the song, where the little
it was a little in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little boy singing to his baby, to a little baby brother or sister.
That's what we try to do a lot. We try to debunk all that stuff right there. Hey, is our car going by? Where the wind is at in the house and stuff that.
That's about all you can do. Is if you think it's fake, it's something, just try to debunk it, and
without
but be
calling
respectful.
Somebody out,
be respectful. I mean, like him,
I agree.
I went back and told him, like, look, I sent him the video. She sent it to me. I'm like, we replicated this song, and we found the video. I'm like, you're in Pigeon Forge. I said, maybe somebody walking by was on TikTok or something, and it was playing, and it just recorded, and you didn't realize that they were behind you or something, or somebody standing beside of you. And, and he was like, oh, he said, I didn't think of that. He said, it makes sense, and so
you don't necessarily know if it's intentional, if they're putting stuff out there, it's intentional, or if they really believe that it's,
Well, that's the other part of it too, and you're right. And it does there is an aspect of a not knowing, maybe, like you said, like maybe somebody was playing it in the background, he didn't realize that. But that's also why sometimes it's better to keep the teams a little smaller than really big, because then it turns into a party with people playing stuff off the phone and things like that.
Yep.
I think that has a lot to play into that factor too. We have go ahead.
and people do stuff to test you too. I mean, they'll
Yes.
take something
Yes.
to you just to see if you're going, oh yeah, that's paranormal. Then they're like, dude, that's fake. I made it. You know.
Well, here's the thing about that too. And if you're one of those people trying to test others, I think that is it's not really cool. It's not cool because you're asking people to take time out of their life to explore what you're sending them, and you're sending it on a joke or to be funny. When to those people, it may be a little bit more serious at those times, right? Like, I mean, that's how I feel. I might be different, but I think that people shouldn't do that. That's like kind of, it's kind of calling into question your integrity as well when they send you something like that. For me,
I tested you.
Yeah, she tested me. We didn't know each other that long, and I didn't know what all happened in her house.
I just moved into a new house that's directly behind my old house, and there had been 2 deaths in that house within the year before I bought it. And I looked at it like a few days after that last death, and the team, they knew that I'd had deaths. They didn't know the exact, the specifics. So had them over, and I was like, okay, Jimmy, go ahead and walk through the house. Tell me what you find. And he goes straight back to the master bedroom and said, okay, who sleeps here? And I said, okay, I do. Why? And he said, no, before. And I said, that's where they found the lady dead. And then he said, okay. And I see her right here at the foot of the bed too. Her legs are here. And I was like, that's where they pulled her off the bed to do CPR. I said, okay, that's good. I'm done. I believe you. So,
but that's a little different, I think, because he was there in person. That's not sending him a video clip and like trying to, because they can be manipulated. So you were asking about his abilities as a psychic, which is, or a medium, and that's totally fine because you have to be extra skeptical about psychics sometimes because there are so many people who use it as a means of income as opposed to actually being able to, talk to the other side or be around the other side like that. And I think that's a great way to pose that, We have a question here from Denise, and it says, what about 9/11? I was there. Do you think that there's a lot of energies there, as in residual energy?
I believe they'd have to
I would
be.
think so.
I do too.
That much trauma. And
I've not been there, but I mean, that'd have to be an overwhelming place.
There's a lot of spirit people that probably really weren't ready to leave at the time when all that happened.
I mean, imagine the fear and it's
jumping out the windows and stuff.
I'm sure
That's like me and you, Jimmy. I couldn't imagine walking up there and just
to be overwhelming
and
for
getting
somebody
the overwhelming feelings. I mean,
so
it's got to be intense. I mean, I live rather closer to there. I probably wouldn't even go and I don't know if you'd be allowed to. There's probably a lot of security, things like that, but that would be one of those places. How about you guys? Do you feel that there's any of those places that, like, you know what? I just don't even want to go there. I'm not even going to go there.
I think a lot of people might find that a little disrespectful. Sometimes you kind of have to be careful, going in there and looking for things like that.
Definitely got to tread lightly. Definitely got to tread lightly in a place like that. And I respect that. That's a great. I didn't even think about that too. And but that definitely makes it a little bit of a different scenario too. Is the respect factor, and that's all about how a team approaches a place too, right? Like that's how we decipher why we're not going in like a bull in a china shop and going in on gentle feet and making sure that we do what we need to do to prepare ourselves to get into those situations like that. And I think that that's a big deal too.
It'd be like a cemetery. I mean,
I agree with that too. I think sometimes cemeteries are a bit rough. It's a bit rough to go in there and feel okay about it. To me, I mean, it's a tough thing because they're supposed to be resting peacefully. And what if now you're not agitating, but you're invoking them to come out and be like, "Hey, get the hell out of here." You know what I mean?
Yep. Because, but yeah, I think up there at the World Trade Center, I think
that's a tough one, man. That's definitely a tough one. Definitely a tough one. Oh man. So we're getting closer to the end now, and I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you if you could tell the up and coming paranormal teams anything, what would you tell them?
My opinion is there's some teams out here right now that says, "Oh, don't get out here and do it. This is the worst thing you can ever do." I love it. I enjoy every day of it. I enjoy helping people like that needs help at their homes and stuff. It's just a totally different feeling when you can actually go out and help somebody that needs help. So if somebody really enjoy doing stuff and helping people, get out and do it. This is a great thing to get out and do.
Be yourselves like we are. I mean, and if there's other local teams around and, you come up on a case or something that you're overwhelmed with or you don't feel comfortable or having trouble with, don't be afraid to reach out to a different team. Hey, guys, we got into this and it's a little more than we can handle being new or we don't have the certain right equipment for it. Can you guys come in and help? I mean,
it's not what you see on TV.
No.
You see, I mean, it's kind of like watching, my husband watches the fishing shows. You don't see the time when they're not catching fish. So, I mean, they don't see that 8 hours you spent there in the dark watching and waiting or the hours, the additional 8 hours that you spent going over your evidence. I mean, there's a lot of
time put in it.
Yeah, because I mean, you spend 4 hours on an investigation, you got 4 hours of video footage to watch, 4 hours of recorder to watch, or
listen to. Yeah,
you listen to it, and if you got multiple cameras, that's 4 hours a piece on the cameras.
Wow, so,
your 4 hours turn into 2 or 3 days worth of work afterwards. I mean,
but for that one little
you hit that one. I mean,
yeah, makes you feel like
that's
you got to go by. Yeah.
That's true. We have another question from the audience, and it's Angela, and she asks, "Where's the most haunted place you have ever visited?" That's a good question, Angela.
Mine's probably Mike Riddle's up there in the land. That land up there next to Peavine Railroad where all that killing happened. Probably the most.
I'm thinking about getting in the car and coming down and exploring that place with you guys. I mean, that sounds awesome down there. I'm not going to lie about it.
You can get down here. We'll take you.
Yeah, you welcome to come.
Awesome. Don't say that because I'll be there. I'll find a hotel near there and I'll be there in a minute. You have no idea.
hey, we got the keys to get right in, so we can go in anytime.
That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
That's probably the most.
Be Trans-Allegheny for me. I think that place is really.
I might say brushy. I mean, we've Morristown was pretty good for me because.
Now, when we go over to Mike's property a lot, usually I come back and it used so much of my energy that I'm sick for 2 or 3 days. So, I mean, I could go over there and just walk on the property and get sick. Me and Jeff was over there. Me and him both was over. We was sick for, 3 or 4 days or so.
Yeah, we was over during the daytime.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, no, I've had places affect me like that too. And I've actually been affected via like Zoom. It's the craziest thing in the world. You finish, you put it down, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. I am so tired. I'm so tired right now. I actually fell asleep like me and my girlfriend were watching TV, and we had finished. It was last Sunday. We finished up an investigation. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I am ready to drop right now. I fell asleep for like 12 hours. It was a rough one.
Yeah.
Well, me and you ended up getting together, I think, over the phone.
Yeah.
And we ended up doing a prayer thing over me and him.
Over the phone.
I mean, that's how bad we feel. I mean.
Wow.
And,
wow.
I mean, we was down there for a couple of days.
That was Bigfoot day too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you guys had a rough day.
Yeah, that was Bigfoot and everything. We got chased through the woods and everything that day.
Wow, you guys are on some hot spot. I'll tell you what. I could tell already. You guys are just on some serious hot spot. There's
Yeah,
got to be so
that's a
much.
lot of people said they love to move down here to Tennessee, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff down here.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of it's like a mass exodus of California. Some of those people relocated in Nashville, believe it or not. I was like, Nashville, it's a far for, California people to be trekking all the way over there. But I think there's something about the Tennessee hospitality that really sticks out to those people, and they like it. They love it.
Yeah, we got Roletta Lynn's house that's haunted
Roletta,
down
yeah.
here in Tennessee.
That's Nashville.
Yeah,
Close
And
to
I'm sure it's going to open up more to us, as our name gets out more. I mean,
Yeah, people be
there's going to be places we don't even know about, and then somebody's going to holler, "Oh, dang, I didn't know that place was."
yeah.
So
Once our name gets bigger, people probably start contacting us more and say, "Hey, do y'all want to come here and investigate?" And
You've got a lot of that now.
yeah, we're getting a lot of that now. But I mean,
Road trip.
yeah, we've had a lot of like Louisiana, Ohio, there's some in New Mexico,
Kentucky.
but we're just not really set up right now to take them long trips.
Yeah, a lot. It'll come back. It'll come back for that, and we'll get there. We'll get there. It's a work in progress for everybody now because, between economic, depressions and things like that, things are really getting tough. And I think that I think one of the blessings you guys have is that hotspot too. You could just go out there and you get to enjoy, whatever you need to do in that area. And I think it's crazy. We have another question. It says, how far do you travel? Let's say for like a residential, if somebody needs your help, how far will you guys go?
It would depend on the situation, I guess, and what kind of evidence they have. I mean, we're not going to pick up and go cross country if your cat's staring into the corner or anything. But I mean, if you can, supply some good evidence and you've got real issues, then
Yeah. Now, so far, I mean, we live in Greenville, and Gina lives in Kingsport. Jeff lives in Irwin, and we went to Morristown. We're supposed to be going to Virginia. So, I mean, we got different little
we've gone
Yeah,
further away for bigger things.
Because me and Gina we both work full-time jobs.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. I mean, that's rough right there. And then you got to work all day and then go and, investigate at night. It could be, pretty crazy. So we're at the end, guys. And what I want you to do is I want to give you a moment. I'm going to leave you guys on full screen for a second. I want you to just talk to the people for 2 minutes. Tell them whatever you want to tell them. And this is one of the things we do at the end. So hold on. Let me get you on full screen and then we'll, there you go. Go ahead, guys.
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for your support and for watching our videos and everything. And thank you for having us on, Rob. We enjoy it. It's a passion.
Yeah, this was the first podcast we've been on, so didn't really know what to expect or anything, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It has been fun.
Like to do more. I mean, it's interesting. I mean,
Just like talking to friends.
yeah, getting the camera and the mics, and we worked on a lot of that yesterday, getting everything set up, prepared for it. And
I want to thank everybody that follows us. And if you ain't following Facebook, TikTok,
and reach out. We'd love to hear your stories.
Reach out to us, send us pictures. If you got something you want us to look at, send it to us. Let us know. We won't turn nobody down.
I want to tell you guys, for the first podcast you ever did, you guys did excellent. It was a great show. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And talking to you guys, like you said, it's like talking to friends. It's always like a good conversation. My shows are never really hard point interviews. I like to just talk, I'll ask you questions and pick your brain as if we were sitting there and just hanging out,
Yeah. We just,
Awesome.
we like to be ourselves. We don't try to make something up and let people think we something else. We just want to be ourselves and have fun and let them see true us.
We laugh and joke.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
No, it's a good thing. I mean, being genuine is, it's the best part about doing this. This is show number 30 of this show, but I've guest starred on a lot of different podcasts too. And, the being genuine is what makes people actually like they enjoy what you do, because nobody wants to get that facade. It's like getting lied to, they don't want to see those people who are like, well, yeah, it's like kind of hokey at that point. And I've always done better just, being myself too. I just love doing this. This is one of my passions, along with the paranormal and ufology and history, is just getting out here and preaching a message to people that, it's always fun to have other people around who think like you do, and talking to each other. It's just an enjoyable thing. Yeah.
We set a special background up for everybody to watch it while we was talking to.
That was awesome. So we're at that end now, guys. And I just want to thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege for you guys to come on here. I truly enjoyed your company tonight. And please go and follow them on TikTok. Go and follow them on YouTube. Find them on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube at Full Spectrum Universe, soon to be Full Spectrum Network. You can also find the Full Spectrum Universe page on Facebook and on TikTok and on Twitter and anywhere that you think you can find us. So I want to say subscribe, follow, like, share. Thank you, everybody, tonight for joining us. I'm sure we're going to have you guys back. Outlaw Paranormal is one of my favorite teams, and it should be yours too.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
You've been amazing. Hope to be back on your show.
We've had
soon.
Fun.
We had fun. Yeah.
That's a guarantee, guys. That's a guarantee. You will be back here.
We'll be letting other teams know about you too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So with that being said, we're going to close out this show. And thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming by and watching us. We did really well with the numbers tonight, too. So I appreciate everybody. And everybody be blessed. And hopefully tomorrow is always going to be a good day, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I hope so.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great evening.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye.